Hello and welcome, guys, to June 3rd. The full moon in Sagittarius is officially here for this weekend. It is now well underway in terms of its energetic potential and energetic fire that it is bringing in for us. So adventure, excitement, and fun is definitely in the cards for this weekend for all of us, especially if we choose it, right? Especially if we align with that kind of energy and that kind of a feeling within ourselves. And talking about feelings, I wanted to just quickly mention, because this is something that I'm sure many of us are experiencing at this time, is yesterday, actually, the day before the full moon. So I had a kind of a rough emotional day yesterday. I was going through what I now understand to be a huge release. It was definitely a big letting go, and there was a big emotional push that I felt was moving through me and coming out of me yesterday. I really didn't even have it in me to make a video or to show up for anyone else. I really needed to honor myself and to show up for myself. I really needed to check in with, how I could best support myself yesterday, because I wasn't feeling good emotionally. Like, I was just going through this. It was a purge of anger and sadness. I felt that it was a combination. Definitely had a nice big cry and a release that was exponentially awesome, because I felt so much lighter and so much more free afterwards. And I was so glad that my mom was here to support me through that, because it was really tough. And to be honest with you, I don't even think I could have gotten myself to that place to release, to let go, if she wouldn't have been here. So just the fact that I had somebody to listen to, listen to me, to listen to the stuff that was arising within me and just my feelings, and I had this opportunity to express myself emotionally, was really such a gift. And I'm so grateful for my mother. I thankfully have such a wonderful relationship with my mom. I really can talk to her about anything, and and a lot of times she doesn't necessarily understand fully what I'm going through, because she can't full on maybe put herself into my shoes, and that's okay. She doesn't need to put herself into my shoes. It's just, and I even said this to her yesterday, like, I just really needed her to listen, and just for me to kind of purge out. And she just did that perfectly. She listened and she supported and gave me a big hug, and it was just beautiful and wonderful, and just really made me feel so loved and seen and heard, and understood. And it was just like, that's all I needed. That's all I needed. I just needed really someone to listen. So if you were having that kind of a purging moment, or if you're currently feeling that kind of a purging moment, perhaps this weekend, then know that it's really wonderful. And if you can in any way seek out some kind of people, someone that you trust, someone that you feel very safe with to express your emotions, then do that. I literally feel like I wouldn't have been able to release or to cry if I hadn't been able to talk about it to somebody. Because when we're trapped in our own minds and in our own heads, and when things are coming up for release, oftentimes, and we all know this, like, it feels better to share that with someone, and to be able to just express it to someone. I can express it in my journal, sure, but it's still not the same as having a conversation, having compassionate eyes and compassionate ears, reflecting back at you, and then, of course, receiving a little bit of a hug, or some kind of emotional support. It's not the same. The two are not the same. So take some time, and if you have someone that you can contact and reach out to, and just say, hey, I really need someone to listen. I really need someone to understand me, and can I just share some things with you right now, and blah blah blah. Like, say whatever you need to say, but express, get it out of yourself, get it out of your system. That's what full moons are all about. It's about the completion of a cycle. It's about letting shit go that you don't need to carry anymore right now. So allow yourself to go through this process. And if you're feeling that this weekend, then I'm even going to suggest to, find those people that are really safe and trustworthy to talk to, but at the same time, kind of distance yourself perhaps from other people that may not be safe or trustworthy, or people that aren't necessarily in a good energetic space or mental space or emotional space to be able to support you. Stay away from those ones, because they can pull you down, and it can be it can be something that really actually prevents you from releasing at this time. And because this full moon is all about letting go and letting go of like heavy things, make that your priority. Like, it's a lot more important right now to focus on your needs and what you need out of people or situations than to focus on what's good or what's not good or what other people need. It doesn't matter. And so that was yesterday. And for my self-care, I ended up going to a neighbor's house and I ended up swimming for like 3 hours. And it was like, oh my God, I was craving water and to be in water so much. And I knew that like a salt bath wasn't necessarily going to do the trick. It was a genuine, like, I just needed to be in the water for a long time. And I had that opportunity and the water was amazing. And it was really hot here yesterday. So it just felt so cooling and refreshing. And it was like all a part of this like release and this letting go. It was just wonderful. And I'm sharing this because I want you guys to understand how important it is for you to pour in your own cup, like recognize always where you're at and feel out, your own needs. You have to figure out what your needs are. And this Sagittarius full moon is so much about understanding ourselves on a deeper level. It's so much about really connecting to the essence of yourself and of your true needs and what serves you, right? So take the time. And this morning when I woke up, I really was in a completely different headspace. Like, I felt so much better, so much lighter, so much more free. Like, whatever I purged out yesterday, like the sadness and the frustration, that all came out. And I felt really, really good this morning when I woke up. However, my daughter actually woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning, where yesterday I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And she had release things coming up for her this morning. And that was really interesting. So, we kind of worked through that and we were talking through it. And she was talking about some kids at school that, might pick on her or bully or say things that are just really rude and inappropriate. And then she was also struggling with some teacher stuff, like how she feels unheard sometimes, by her teacher and things like that. And a really profound message came through. And as we were talking and as she was sharing and going through this like kind of emotional wave, a really profound message came in. And the message was, because she was so concerned about other people's opinions. And the message was, the opinion that matters the most is the opinion that you have of yourself. Not of anyone else, but the opinion that you have of yourself. And so I'm teaching her this and I'm helping her to understand that that's what matters most. It doesn't matter what Bobby or George or whoever, I'm making up names right now, but it doesn't matter what other people say or what opinions other people have, because what really truly matters most is your own opinion. How do you feel about you? How do you feel about your appearance and who you are as an individual? How connected do you feel to yourself? How much can you love yourself? Because your opinion of yourself is going to be based off of how much you love yourself. And I felt this to be a very profound message for this full moon. It is time for humanity, and we are actually moving through this process of understanding that what we perceive of ourselves matters most, not what others perceive of us. Because everyone outside of us, and it was like this channeling was coming through, this download was coming through, that everyone external to us always has a super limited perception of who we are, because they're not in our bodies, they're not in our lives, they're not walking in our shoes. So they will never have a complete or full picture of where you're at or who you actually are as a soul, as an individual. So don't make it matter. What matters most is what you think of yourself. And everything else is just opinion. And opinions are what? It's nothing more than thoughts. And thoughts come from where? They come from an individual's perspective of, and the perspective comes from a level of where they're at in terms of their spiritual growth. Perspective always comes from a level of spiritual growth. So the less growth you have, the more limited your perception becomes, or is. And the more growth you have, the more expansive and the wider your perception becomes. And I'm talking about yourself right now. And of course, when your perception of yourself expands, your perception of the world and of other people also expands. So you're going to see things differently. You're going to view the world differently. You're going to view situations, people in your life, friends, family differently. And I have gone through this. There was this huge jump that I felt, spiritual jump that I kind of went through in the last probably 3 months. And I'm seeing, it's bizarre. I'm seeing the entire world through very, very different eyes and through this perspective of me first, which was never a thing for me. It was not something that I ever naturally did before, because I was so used to seeing myself with such a skewed perception. And I was so used to believing the perception of others about me, which is like, God, when I think about it now, like how limiting and how incredibly ridiculous is that? Like, the next person doesn't know me better than me. I know me. I know me. And I am the one who is responsible to figure me out. So think about yourself and think about where you are at in your life currently, about how you feel about who you are. Is that yours? Are those your thoughts? Are those your beliefs? Or are you just still cycling through repeating thoughts of other people or perceptions or opinions of other people about you? Do not allow that kind of limitation to be placed upon you, because when you do, you actually completely you completely cut off your own potential and where you could go and who you could become. Self-mastery and understanding who we are is exactly what this full moon is pushing the collective towards more and more and more. It is time for us to awaken to who we truly are as individuals. So this full moon is an excellent time to check in with yourself. It's an excellent time to own your power. Owning, your power was actually another huge message that I received when I was chatting with my daughter this morning. And I said that to her. Own your power. You are a powerhouse, and your power comes from right here, from your solar plexus, from the energy center that is our internal sun. This is where your personal power, your self-worth, your self-love, your self-appreciation comes from. So strengthen that and use that power. It's like we have this unlimited potential and unlimited power within ourselves. And I said to her, are you going to continue to allow people to keep pushing you down with their thoughts and with their words, because they're simply either jealous or insecure within themselves? Are you going to allow other people's insecurities constantly squish you and make you insecure? Are you going to adapt that energy and take that energy on and make it your own? Because that's a choice. You can, but it's not going to be worth it, because you're going to soon recognize that it causes you to feel depressed and sad and upset and angry and not enough. So we have to choose. And this is the message I keep receiving today, is just own your power, people. Like, there's this owning of it. And even own your shortcomings, own your discrepancies, own all of the things within you that are also not balanced at this time. Because when you own it and you admit to it and you say, yes, I do this. Yes, I do allow other people to influence my thoughts and my perception of myself. When you own it, that is the moment that you've taken your power back, because now you recognize, now you understand that you have been just giving your power away. And all you have to do is change that dynamic within yourself and start to look at the values within you, not the shortcomings, not the things that you don't like, but start looking for the things that you like within yourself. Because the more that you do that and the more you recognize that, you're going to expand that love for yourself. And you're going to find more and more of that goodness and that awesomeness within yourself, because now that's what you're tuned into. That's what you're looking for. And there is where your power lies. When you are intentionally and purposefully looking for the good and the power within yourself, and you are connecting to it with intention. That's where the power lies. And that's how we take our power back individually and collectively. And when you become this more powerful version of yourself, You're no longer going to be swayed and influenced by other people's thoughts and opinions. You're no longer going to fall for that. You're no longer going to take it in. You're just going to recognize how, wow, that person has major issues with themselves. That's why they're projecting their issues onto me. And that's the other thing I was explaining to my daughter, is recognize that people project all the time. And when they say something nasty to you, that actually says so much about them and nothing about you. It says that they are at that level. So this recognition is powerful. And I don't understand why this is not taught in schools. Children wouldn't even be bullying each other in schools if they were actually given this kind of wisdom, if they were explained properly, and if they were made to understand properly that you just gotta love you. You gotta love you first. And recognize and understand that you're awesome the way that you are. And then you're not going to keep projecting negativity and feeling like not enough onto other people. Because when kids bully each other, and not just kids do this, like God, adults do this, when people are bullying each other, that's exactly what they're doing. Well, I feel like shit about myself, so now I'm going to make you feel like shit so that I can feel a little bit better about myself. And you know why they do that? Because they don't have power. They don't know how to harness and use their own personal power. So they try to push other people down because it makes them feel this much more powerful. And isn't that like so lame? I don't want to feel this much more powerful. I want to feel this much more powerful. So to put someone down is like ridiculous. It doesn't serve you in any way. Instead, ask yourself, what's my issue with myself? Right? So use this new moon energy. Use this, like, we're in the middle of the year. We're literally right down in the center, in the middle of this year. Use the second half of this year and start to live from this space within yourself of self-love and self-nurturing. And the more that you do that, and then the self-honoring, because I had to self-honor yesterday, and my mind and my ego kept chirping and kept trying to push me to post and make a video and put content out there. And I was like, I must honor how I'm feeling at this very moment. And I had to remind myself that I can't pour from an empty cup. I need to pour my cup full right now. I need to do certain things, maybe eat certain things, and give myself certain amounts of time to just purge, to allow myself to go through this process. I mean, this full moon is really powerful and it's affecting all of us. And I have to remind myself of that. It's like, hey, you're not exempt from the energy, man. The energy is here right now and it's trying to help you purge something big out. Allow the purging to happen. Allow it to move through you. Don't try to distract yourself with other things, and do not try to convince yourself that you're supposed to be giving to somebody else right now or serving somebody else when you need to fucking serve yourself. So that's what I did. And in the past, I never would have done that. I would have ignored, I would have procrastinated, I would have done everything and anything else, but focus on what I needed. That's what I would have done in the past. And now I don't do that. And it feels so much better to not do that. I am liberated. I am free within myself. I understand that I am valuable. I understand that I deserve to have time to heal, time to pray. I deserve to have time for whatever it is that I need, for meditation, whatever I need to fill my cup in that moment. I deserve that time. And because I value myself so much more than I ever did, nothing can come in the way of that. I just find that I'm so much more willing to give to others, and I'm so much more able to support others when I'm truly taking care of myself first. And that is my lesson. That is a part of my life lesson, is to learn to take care of myself so fiercely and so wonderfully and beautifully and deliciously that it is just going to pour out onto other people so that my cup is truly overflowing. So this is a really good time for you to evaluate how much you pour into yourself or how little you pour into yourself. How much are you pouring into other people instead of you? How much more compassion do you have for other people instead of you? These are things to evaluate, to think about, to look at this time, because this full moon is going to allow you and help you and assist you to purge that shit out, to push out the things that just don't resonate with you anymore, that don't align with you anymore. Activities, habits, people, places, things, relationships, work, whatever it is. We are continuously in a purging process. This entire year is about transformation and purging. This is the time to do it. And especially when the energies are so intense, and especially when they're supporting us so much and actually helping us to release and to let things go. This is the time to take advantage of this energy. So use it wisely. And you use it wisely by really tuning into yourself. Another profound feeling that I had this morning, or just a connection, or it was like everything is just kind of leveling up, because these are things I've already known, but it's like the knowing gets deeper, and it turns more into wisdom, because I'm now able to like apply the knowledge that I have within myself. But something else that came up was like intuition. How incredibly important it is to listen to our intuition, to tune into our intuition. I'm finding myself wanting and needing to watch less and less videos and less tarot card readings and less, horoscope or whatever kind of information. I check my astrology all the time. That is something I will always tune into to keep up to date with what the stars are doing and how it's influencing us. That's different. But when it comes to outside opinions, when it comes to outside, like I said, particularly tarot cards, because over the pandemic, I really got obsessed with tarot readings. And I find there's a lot of really great readers out there who are really truly channeling spirit through their readings. I can tell, and those are the ones I generally gravitate towards. But there's just a lot of people out there nowadays doing tarot, and a lot of those people are not in alignment within themselves. And I find those tarot readers will often change their readings. It's like their energy is always attached to the readings, right? And some of them will bring like the readings are kind of very heavy or triggering or dark or whatever, or like you got somebody doing this and doing that. And in some cases, yeah, I'm sure that's the case, but I've really noticed, and I've gotten this really clear message from spirit to not plug into that information as truth, because that's not going to be your truth. That is just simply energy from the collective that these people are picking up on, and as they lay the cards out, it kind of paints a story. But the most important thing is discernment, right? Because there's so many things that it's especially if like a certain part of a tarot reading really resonates with you, then sometimes you'll just kind of take on the whole rest of the reading, and maybe there was like 3 sentences in the entire reading that were truly meant for you and the rest of it was not. Because it's very easy for tarot readers just to say like, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But you know what? That's kind of bullshit, because people are going to take what resonates and then they're going to take the entire reading because some part of your reading has resonated. So don't do that. And I'm telling people to be very discerning and to really use your intuition when it comes to these tarot readings and tarot messages and guidance and all this different stuff. Like, just tune in with yourself first. That's all I'm saying. I'm not bashing anybody. I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong. I'm just saying that you need to tune in with yourself first. And you got to really be willing to listen to your intuition. Your gut is always going to tell you what is the next best thing for you, what is actually true for you, and what is not true for you. And sometimes, yeah, these readings are very, very helpful. And sometimes I hear exactly what I need to hear, or I just get that bit of encouragement and support. So for that reason, I will always support tarot. I think tarot is a wonderful tool that, they're divination cards. They're cards that you are the channeler. So the person playing the card, or not playing because you're not playing tarot, but the person laying out the cards is channeling information, right? So that person is again bringing their energy into it. And the cleaner that person is, and the more aligned and the more balanced they are, the higher vibrational messages they're going to be able to deliver. So just be very discerning, and we have to really start trusting our intuition and using discernment when it comes to anything and everything. Not just one thing, but literally everything and anything. And the more I do this, the more I have proof and I have recognition that my intuition is actually more spot on, that my intuition is what's true for me. Because your intuition is going to be true for you. But you got to be able to trust it, and you have to be able to tune into it regularly to really, flex that muscle. Intuition, just like everything else, everything is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And the less you use it, the weaker it gets, and the more disconnected you become from it. So, yeah. Use this time, people, and use this beautiful energy to really let go, to really step out of limitation, to really free yourself from anything and everything that doesn't align and doesn't resonate with you any longer. It is time. It is time for us to move beyond our limitations and really get into alignment with who we truly are, with your own intuition. And the more that we do this, the more that we become better and better at self-mastery. And self-mastery is like the key. The more that you can regulate and control your emotions, the less reactive you are, the more you have accomplished self-mastery. So just keep that in mind. And don't allow other people to sway your emotions and to sway your thoughts and to sway anything, really. Trust yourself first. Tune into yourself first. So that is my full moon message today. I did another full moon message at the beginning of the week. Yes, that's also posted. I will link it. It is also very, that's got just more of the astrological information about this weekend and what's going on. But I just wanted to come on here quick and share this because I felt it was important. I was feeling a push. I was feeling a nudge from spirit to come in and relay this message. So somebody needed to hear this. I don't know who, but I'm sure that it will reach whoever it needed to reach. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for liking, for subscribing to the channel, and for supporting me and the work that I do. I really, really appreciate it. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Take care and enjoy this beautiful strawberry full moon.